You walk into the pro shop and there it is. The putter you've seen your favorite tour player draining 30-footers with. Same model, same finish, same grip. You pick it up and for a second you feel like you're already holding out on 18. Then you flip the price tag, $450, and you think this is the one. Finally, the piece that fixes the weakest part of your game. Here's the quiet pinch that follows. Hope, followed by a thin layer of doubt. You buy it, take it to the practice green, and for the first week, it feels great. Then the second week, the same 3 putts creep back. By the third week, you're blaming yourself, not the putter. Isn't that the pattern? Every time. The putter market is built on a simple psychological mechanism. You believe the club changes the outcome, and the brands know this better than anyone. In fact, they engineer their entire marketing and price structure around it. But the data tells a very different story. That last sentence is the reason this channel exists. If you want to keep uncovering these quiet methods the industry uses on your wallet, subscribe. We break down the numbers so you can buy smarter, not harder. And in the comments, type the word data if you've ever bought a club that didn't fix your miss. Let's see how many of us have been there. Here's what the evidence shows. MyGolfSpy, the largest independent golf equipment tester in the world, runs annual putter tests. They control for every variable: swing robot, consistent stroke, unvarying green speed, and year after year the results are the same. The most expensive putters, the ones with the biggest marketing budgets, the ones endorsed by tour pros, consistently rank in the middle of the pack for accuracy. The putters that actually sink more putts? They come from brands you've heard of but never considered, and from small engineering shops you've never seen a commercial for. One of the highest scoring models in their 2023 test retailed for $99. Meanwhile, a $275 putter from a household name finished dead last in dispersion. If you've ever stood on a practice green, hitting the same putt 10 times, and noticed that your misses are almost identical regardless of which putter you're holding, you already know this. You just didn't have the proof. You spent money hoping the metal would do the work, when the design of the putter, the engineering, has almost no connection to marketing spend. The first brand-selling false confidence is the household name that spends the most on commercials. You know the one. They've been making putters for decades, and their big box store presence is overwhelming. But when you look at their design philosophy, it's not about consistency. It's about perceived forgiveness. They add weight to the perimeter, they add alignment lines, they claim higher MOI. And these all sound like real engineering-based improvements. But here's the trap. High MOI doesn't fix a face angle issue. No amount of perimeter weighting corrects a low point problem. And that's the core mechanism. These brands sell false confidence by satisfying your brain's desire for a simple story. The story is, this putter is the solution. You put it in your bag, and suddenly all those misses become makes. It's not your stroke, it's the tool. But the true determinant of putting success is not the clubhead's forgiveness. It's the consistency of your face angle at impact and the consistency of your start line. Those come from fit, geometry, and weight, not from a slick commercial or a famous endorsement. In the MyGolfSpy 2023 and 2024 tests, one brand consistently produced the lowest dispersion, a brand you rarely see on TV. Their putters are milled in a small facility, and they prioritize a specific weight distribution that matches the average golfer's natural stroke arc. That's it. No super high MOI claim, no futuristic insert, just geometry that fits a human's natural movement. Meanwhile, another brand, one with a superstar endorsement factor, had nearly doubled the dispersion. That means a golfer using a putter from that brand with the exact same stroke will drop the ball in a circle that's twice as wide. That's not a small difference. That is the difference between 3-putting from 15 feet and 2-putting from 15 feet over a round. Multiply that by 18 holes. It changes your score by 3, maybe 4 shots around. The second brand, selling false confidence, is the one that uses the word tour on every head cover. This brand's entire identity is built on the idea that their putters are what the pros use. And yes, some pros do. But pros are fitted to specific lie angles, lengths, and head weights that match their exact setup. The retail version you buy is a one-size-fits-most product that uses the same geometry as the pro version, but without the fitting. The result is a putter that's about 20% less effective for the average golfer than a properly fitted alternative from a smaller brand. The stats bear this out. In a 2022 study by the National Golf Foundation, 78% of golfers who bought a putter at a big box store never adjusted the lie angle. They never measured the length. They just picked the one that looked good. And that's the exploitation. You are not buying a club. You are buying a psychology. You are buying the feeling that you are one with the tour player. But the real mechanism of putting consistency is not the head cover's logo. It's the relationship between your setup, the putter's length, and the green speed. Now, this is where the story turns. The brands that actually sink more putts understand this relationship. They design putters that align with the green speed you most often play. They prioritize weight adjustability over marketing. They engrave realistic alignment systems, not just lines that look good in pictures. One of these brands, you've seen it in a pro shop but never thought of it. It's a brand that offers a head weight under 340 grams, which is rare. Why does that matter? Because the average green speed on public courses in the United States is roughly 9 to 10 on the stimp meter. On those greens, a normal weight putter, 350 grams, can cause the ball to launch faster than the face actually presents, leading to more lip outs and three putts. A lighter head slows the face rotation and increases consistency. That brand sells a putter that is lighter than the industry standard, and it tested in the top 3 for accuracy. The price? $149. If you've ever felt that you can't make a putt on slow greens, but your putting is fine on fast greens, the variable is not your stroke. The variable is the head weight, and that weight is entirely controlled by the manufacturer. They sell you a putter that works on a tour green at an 11 stimp meter, but you play on a municipal course at an 8. The club is mismatched to your environment, and they don't tell you that. They just let you blame yourself. That moment, when you realize the industry sets you up to feel like the problem, that's the line we're drawing here. If you've ever blamed your stroke when the real issue was the equipment, comment this exact phrase. If this resonates with you, there's a lot more where this came from. Link in the description. I want to know how many of us have been sold that story. And while you're down there, subscribe so you don't miss the next time we name a brand that's exploiting this gap. Here is the truth that ties this together. The putter industry is not an equipment industry. It is an identity industry. They sell you an image of yourself as a good putter. And the moment you stop feeling like that good putter, the advertisement's promise tells you that the next model, the next upgrade, will be the one that finally unlocks your potential. But the brands that actually improve your score don't operate that way. They don't push a new model every year. They push a fitting, they push geometry, and when you buy a putter from one of those 3 brands, what you are buying is not hope. You are buying a piece of metal that has been scientifically matched to your most likely miss pattern. Let me give you a concrete example. In the 2024 MyGolfSpy test, a putter from a brand called Evnroll used a variable face thickness design. The idea was that off-center hits would retain ball speed, not lose it. And the data showed that putts hit toward the heel, the most common miss in amateur golf, rolled within 2 inches of the center hit's distance, every time. That is a real engineering solution. A tour brand putter, when hit off the heel, lost 4 inches of distance. That is the difference between a tap-in and a 3-putt. That 4-inch loss is the kind of concrete number that should change how you shop from now on.
The economics of modern golf.
We're going deeper into specific brand tests in the next video, so subscribe to stay plugged into that. And in the comments, tell me, where do your heel misses usually end up? Short, long, or exactly on line? That will tell you if variable face thickness is your solution. Now, this next part may hit close to home. Think about the last time you missed a 4-footer. You felt the stroke was good. You aimed where you believed, and the ball just didn't go in. In your head, you told yourself you need to practice more. But what if the answer was that your putter, the one with the famous name, does not protect off-center hits? Your stroke is fine. The geometry is the problem. If this is starting to feel personal, you're not alone. I want you to pause right now and comment what brand you currently use. Drop it. I want to see what you're carrying, because the pattern will be noticeable. The third brand selling false confidence is a company that sells exclusively through big box retailers and uses a futuristic alignment system. Their putter is covered in lines and dots and circles, and you look down and think, there is no way I can miss this. Except you still do. And the reason is that the alignment lines are actually deceiving your eye. They create an optical illusion that makes the face appear square when it is actually open. The test data shows that this brand's putters had the worst start line consistency of any brand tested in the past 3 years. Brands that actually sink more putts use minimal evidence-based alignment tools. Usually, a single line that extends back from the ball to the club face. That's it. No gimmicks, because the fewer visual inputs your brain has to process, the more consistent your start line becomes. The illusion of perfect alignment is the opposite of actual perfect alignment. Now, let me name the 3 brands that actually work. The first is an engineering shop out of Texas. They hand mill every head and laser engrave a single sight line. Their putter is 330 grams with an adjustable sole weight. Price, $199. In independent testing, it placed in the top 2 for dispersion over 37 models. The second is a Japanese brand that makes every head from a single block of stainless steel. They do not produce a new model every year. They produce one model and they wait for the data to tell them it needs improvement. That model, at 345 grams, was the most consistent face angle putter in the 2023 test. Price, $275, but you pay for metal, not marketing. The third is a company that focuses entirely on alignment training, and they built a putter around that philosophy. Their model has a unique face that encourages you to hit the center every time. Price, $129, and it outperformed putters that cost 3 times as much. Now you have 3 names that actually deliver. Over the next few weeks, we'll film side-by-side tests of these putters versus the big names, so click subscribe to know when that drops. And in the comments, tell me, which of these 3 would you try first? I'll feature the top answer in an upcoming video. If you've ever felt the quiet shame of buying a putter that didn't deliver, of walking off the green and thinking, I spent all that money for this, that feeling is not about your ability. That feeling is the system working exactly as intended. You bought false confidence, and it worked, until the putting started. Let me ask you, after everything you just heard, what is the first thing you will check when you look at your putter next? Comment that down. I want to know. Here is a vision for the next time you step onto a practice green. You pull out a putter that you know fits your stroke. You line up a 15-footer. You don't worry about the name on the head cover. You focus on the single sight line that you know aligns with your eye's natural pattern. You make the stroke, the ball rolls pure, and it drops. And you don't think, finally. You think, obviously. That is the moment when the system stops working on you. And you become the golfer who makes putts because of knowledge, not because of hope. The clubhouse is silent now. The receipt is long gone. But the knowledge you carry forward is the one thing that can never be priced out of your bag.